Jordan Peterson did an interview with Jay Shetty. What a lineup.
He let Jay it's like an hour and a half long. He probably let Jay talk for about 3 minutes.
That's my man.
Yeah.
That's how you conduct an interview.
To be open to learning does mean, at least to some degree, always asking,
Jay
what am I
Shetty,
doing?
when's the last time you reused your grandmother's pubes to gently glide across a canvas? This seems very un-Jay Shetty to talk to Jordy.
That's what I was thinking too. I feel like this is Jay Shetty's biggest
What do I have to give up?
mistake, like ever.
Like, he is not inclusive. He hates trans people. He's like mega conservative. You know, like the vibes are not there.
Unless this was like a mega debate about like things.
Certainly
it's
doesn't
not.
sound like
it's
it.
like the opposite. It's a glaze, dude. It's a juicer.
Let's open some timestamps here. Let me see the intro.
What do I have to let go of? What do I have to transform? That can be very painful. There isn't anything better that you can do with failure, no matter how unjust, than to learn from it.
One of the most articulate men of our time.
Is that Theo Vaughn? Bro, what are you doing, Jay Shetty? No offense. I mean, I like Theo Vaughn, but like, what are we doing here? He's not like, you know, the fucking spiritual leader or something. Maybe he is. I don't know.
Psychologist turned culture warrior, Dr. Jordan Peterson.
The man
So
who
he knows he's a culture warrior, and you brought him on.
prefer short-term mating opportunities are
Men like women with big
narcissistic,
titties.
Machiavellian, and sadistic. So one of the unintended consequences of the sexual revolution is that the freed up women have been delivered to the psychopathic men.
That's right.
Most people who have post-traumatic stress disorder don't have it because they were hurt. They have it because they encountered someone who wanted to hurt them. People can go through all sorts of...
What a strange statement. Why are we splitting hairs on that one? Let me go to the timestamps. Let's see how Jordan distinguishes people in his comment sections. Okay.
Psychopaths. I mean, I use some rules online when I'm dealing with comments. If you're anonymous, you're questionable. If you're anonymous with a demonic name, you're definitely questionable.
What the fuck's a demonic name?
Well, I mean,
there are people walking around
Lord of the Flies is your handle, then yeah.
I mean, I don't see names that much, but it's like, okay.
It doesn't feel particularly common online, but I don't know. Maybe I'm...
A lot of anonymous accounts have names that are Luciferian. You know?
No shot.
Really?
Dude, this man is having paranoid delusions. There's no fucking way that's true. I'm sure there are some, but what?
I guess that's part of the edginess. If you use LOL, LMFAO, if you use derisive names, those are all indications of bad actors.
LOL? LMAO?
LOL.
What does that have to do with being a bad actor, man? Jay Shetty, you got no pushback for that?
He's nodding along. He's like, yep.
You can't be sitting there and agreeing with this fucking psychopathy, man.
No. Like, I think
You're nodding yes to that. He said lol means, if you use lol online, you're a psychopath. And you nodded.
could characterize the bad actor space quite clearly. You do that with diagnostic criteria. But we have this situation now where the social media spaces are overwhelmingly tilted in a negative direction by the predatory psychopaths.
Do you believe that things are as divided as they seem?
No, I know they're not. I was
what,
speaking with one of my friends today.
I know they're not as divided, but every time I open the comments, 70% of them have devilish names and say lol, and I wish they would all die. Not in like a violent way, but in like a rapture way. I wish Jesus would just come back and collect the souls of the damned and deliver them to Satan where they belong.
The guys that are just out for a good time, they're not much fun. And they're...
How do you know?
They're a lot worse than you think. And the worst of them are so much worse than you think that if you ever got to look inside their mind, you would never recover. And I'm not saying that lightly. It's not pleasant.
This guy's a psychoanalyst. Like the way he talks about like relatively normal people. I'll say this in Jordan's defense. He hates Andrew Tate. He's vocally.
That's nice.
That's
that's actually a W.
At least he's consistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
And then
he probably just hates him because he fucked his daughter.
He fucked the shit out of his daughter. Right?
I hate to say it, but
No,
something tells me it has something to do with it.
I'm not making this up.
We could
Most
go on to the
people
next
who have
soundbite. I mean, to the next
post-traumatic
timestamp. I
stress
just like that soundbite.
disorder don't have it because they were hurt. They have it because they encountered someone who wanted to hurt them, right? And so it was that glimpse of that malevolence that fractured them.
How could you know that? What a weird analysis.
Wait. Actually, play a little bit more.
It was.
I watched this
people
earlier.
can go through all sorts of horrible things and not be traumatized. You know, a terrible illness, terrible pain, an accident. You wait till you tangle with someone who's malevolent, boy.
What about shell shock? Like you don't see the people, just bombs explode near you.
This seems like, I mean, he's the psychologist here. This seems like a gross overgeneralization.
Is he
here.
still? I think he was
Yeah, maybe
lost
he's
life.
not legally a psychologist. He was trained as a psychologist, right? He has a PhD in psychology.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, I suppose he
has credentials.
He has some credentials here, but
Even
that,
if he lost his license.
to me, strikes me as a pretty shocking
It's just
assertion
silly.
there.
My
Yeah.
therapist would beg to differ.
I think most would.
That my PTSD is from what happened, not the decision to do what happened.
Right.
Loser.
Maybe you need to listen to Jordan more.
I think you're. I should send this link to my therapist. She'll be so excited to see
Yeah, I bet
a
she'll
new
love that.
perspective.
You will not be the same person afterward, assuming you manage to put yourself back together at all. So this is not, and it's many of those people too that have free reign online. It's not a good thing.
You brought up identity, and I feel that so much of our
Jay, push back. This man just said some psychotic shit.
Well, if you want to keep watching, I was baffled by this earlier because the direction, like, we all just heard what Jordan said. The direction that Jay goes with this, I was like, what the fuck are you babbling? Like, Jay seems dumber than Jordan. I gotta be honest.
I've been saying that.
subscription to ideas of identity are somewhat subconscious, and I'm not sure anyone's ever, at least not that I know, the scale of people who are thinking about their life in a logical way to say, let me think about what my identity is. I think we join communities, we join groups, we leave communities, we leave groups, we sign up to this, we unsubscribe from that. We don't even recognize that we're subconsciously crafting an identity by the people we spend time with and the people we listen to. It often isn't
Implicitly,
yeah, it isn't.
You said nothing.
And what does this have to do with Jordan?
That was like a word
Zero.
salad.
Right.
So Jordan doesn't pause. So I think it was referencing something prior, but it was like so much earlier.
Because he was just
he won't
filibustering
stop.
the whole
Yeah.
time. Okay, fair enough.
Not
Jay.
really. You got to move on, man.
Yeah, I mean, like that was jarring. That wasn't. He just completely changed the topic all of a sudden. But okay, whatever.
As
That's
intentional.
what stories, by the way, that's a good observation. I mean,
That was
one
really
of the
it.
things
I
I've
just thought it was
realized in one
odd how
of the-
Jay just went off in a completely new direction in response to all that.
I feel like there's a lack of self-awareness with the title of the video. It says
So
how to spot.
That's a little bit more.
Yeah.
How to spot hidden manipulators.
I feel like that's both of them.
I'm seeing two on screen right now.
Well, it's just if they say LOL or
True, right?
LMAO.
Jay Shetty, you never typed LOL? You gonna let him shit on you like that?
Description of the domains of thought that I've been wandering in.
No, I deeply
Domains
appreciate
of
the way
thought
you're
have been
analyzing and
wandering.
observing a religious
Dan
text
noticed
that can often
Jay
be
has the same
seen
background,
as
the
a
book in
story,
the background that I have.
a lesson, a message, and actually looking at it as closely linked to human development.
Two kings.
And part of my training, I did something similar with the Bhagavad Gita, which is the text of the East, and it's similar. There's a conversation between the divine Krishna or God with Arjun, who's an archer who has lost all self-belief and self-esteem because he's having to fight his family.
He's an archer.
Yes, he's
You know,
an archer.
sin means to miss the target.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an archery term.
Yeah.
And
Sin means to miss the target.
Uh-huh.
Look into that. I'm assuming he's talking about Latin.
because that's a cardinal sin.
I feel like there's no shot that's true. How could you pack that much meaning in 3 words? 3 letters.
Missing the mark is a concept in Christianity and Judaism that comes from an archery term. The Hebrew word for sin means missing the mark in the New
That's
Testament.
the
Oh
devil
shit, he's
right
right.
He's right.
Yeah, he's just
That
trying
is
to find
interesting.
his opening to take back control.
Don't try and get into a biblical archetype off with Jordan Peterson, man. He is thinking about that
might
shit
say
day
I
in,
missed
day
the
out.
mark with that one.
You might say that. You might say that.
That's the devil right there.
Okay, interesting.
That notion of sin has that archery connection in multiple different languages. And so it's the same theme that you're describing. And the reason for that is an archer hits the target, right? So to hit the target accurately is to pursue the divine most appropriately. So there's a metaphysics of archery. So that's definitely not that's a good example of how that's right. There's no.
Shut up. His eyes are ravaging.
God,
Gorgeous.
I was
You
so
won't
locked
miss
in.
your grip on the bow. You won't aim wrong. There's almost no failure, regardless of how arbitrary.
Yeah, I just found this
that you can't
interesting.
learn
They
from.
put a
If you're
preview
man and you're getting
mid-episode.
nowhere-
There was a preview in the beginning of the video.
Coming up.
And then mid-episode, while Jordan's talking, they put a preview of what he's going to say later on.
Y'all think he's that boring? Like, what are you doing?
I mean,
Jeff?
so
maybe.
weird.
That's an interesting format.
We should pull.
Maybe it's right before their ad break. That's very like
We have this
broadcast
saying, we
television.
bury our unfinished.
Let me see what. Oh, Jordy's not pulling in the views. Look at
That's
that.
actually surprising that
But
that
this-
didn't do that well for him. Usually Jordan gets big views.
But Jay Shetty has never had views. That's the thing.
He
Like
does.
on
He does
YouTube-
on audio.
I think he's big
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah. So I'm curious how much this got on his other platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan's probably big on Facebook. He had Tom.
Yeah, Tom Ward on?
Tom
Tom
Hanks.
Hanks.
Oh, okay.
The other Tom.
This fucking guy.
Those are the only two.
The
Toms.
views are really a lot on these ones, man.
Knocking over my wife.
Nobody's interested in Jordan. That's like his lowest viewed episode in a while. What the hell is that?
Wow. I
A
like
little
that.
glimpse into it. You really sat across from Joker and didn't say anything, huh? You know,
At the
yeah, the
Joker
Joker is
church.
interesting. He's an interesting guy, but he's crazy. You can't, you know what I mean?
become the Joker. Literally.
You got to call him out.
I just killed a bunch of people and I'm the Joker.